Really fast, I wanted to show you the new shirts that I have made. So this is a custom design that I had worked with a girl on, and then I kind of added my own final touches. So if you want to get some Kayla Moss swag, I've got t-shirts and they come in a few different colors. I've got military green, and then this it's called vintage black in stock. I think they turned out really good. So hopefully you guys like this design. The whole idea behind this is I don't really see myself as someone with like merch, but I want to do a hunt with someone this year. Like take someone on a hunt, and I want to be able to pay for that. So this is kind of just for you guys if you are looking to have something to support the channel. T-shirts are a really good way to do it, and I think they turned out really good. So the website is down below, but yeah, the proceeds are gonna go obviously towards this channel and helping it grow, and hopefully taking someone hunting this year. So yeah, that'd be awesome to do. I think it'd be a lot of fun, and if you guys are interested, check out the website. And yeah, thanks for watching. Okay, so I am here to tell you guys about tree stand versus tree saddle. This is not a how-to. I'm not going to tell you how to do everything with the saddle. I will be coming out with another video just talking about my setup from last year, the gear, how to use it, all that. So if you guys have any specific questions about that, comment below, and then I'll try to answer those in the next video. But for this one, I wanted to just compare and contrast basically pros and cons for each setup, and kind of just help you guys, you know, be a little bit more informed and make a decision and figure out what's best for you. I honestly like both, and I think each has its purpose and each is good or bad in different situations. So I'm just gonna kind of talk about them, and yeah. So I've got my little setup right here, and yeah, we'll just kind of get started. So this is a Bigfoot tree stand by River's Edge. I've had this a long time. It's one of the first stands I ever got. And then we've got the Tethrd platform. So right off the bat, you can see, let me get out of the way here. You can see a significant difference in size. Obviously this is way bigger. You have a lot of platform space. Tethrd, very small, basically the size of your feet. And that's really only important for the fact of weight. Obviously a tree stand is going to be a lot heavier. Saddle platform is super lightweight and compact, so it's easy to carry. This, not as easy to carry. Some people wear it like a backpack to walk it in. Kind of just whatever suits you, but saddles are not actually a new thing. They're pretty old. They've been around for a while, but they just didn't really gain popularity until now. And my reasoning for just trying it out is, you guys know I hunt a lot of public land. I'm bouncing around different states, different pieces. So I really wanted something that was gonna help me be more mobile. So the lightweight, compact size of everything, and just the mobility factor is really what I was looking for, and I really like that about the saddle. This is not as mobile. Typically people who have their own property, or they're planning on just hunting like 1 or 2 spots, I would say a tree stand might be your better bet, because you got more space and you're not going to be lugging it around. So that's probably the biggest thing with the platforms. Obviously your tree stand, you're going to be sitting in it facing away from the tree, versus the saddle, which I'll get up in it in a second and show you. The saddle, you're facing the tree, and it's literally kind of the opposite. So depending on what's more comfortable for you too. I really haven't had any specific issues in one versus the other as to like liking whether I'm facing the tree or not. I would say if you're not filming, it really doesn't matter. Filming wise, if you're self-filming, saddles can be tricky, mostly just because you have ropes that are kind of like right in front of you, where this, you could potentially have the arm and it can swing out away from you, which I'll show you that in a second too, and maybe get into more details with that in my next video. I'll show you my camera setup and how I put everything in the tree. But yeah, pros and cons. So actually I'll show you, well, okay, so here's the saddle that I used all fall, the Phantom by Tethrd. And what I love about Tethrd is they strictly saddle hunt, so they're always trying to make improvements and make it as like the best as possible. There are other companies out there, so maybe do your research and kind of decide if you want to get into saddles. There might be better options for you. I personally have not tried any others, but I have no complaints about this, and they are always making improvements. So yeah, Phantom. So yeah, basically this is gonna go around you, kind of similar to a lineman's belt if you're familiar with that. Some people aren't. Then you got your leg straps that are gonna go between you and your actual belt to keep it on you. Then your ropes are pretty much how you're going to be attached to the tree, which again I'll show you that in a second. And then obviously tree stand, you'd have a safety harness, which is different, but stick wise, for climbing sticks, let me show them to you the right way. So there's honestly probably so many different brands and types out there. These are just two that I have personally messed around with. I've got the Hawk Heliums and the Tethrd 1. These are actually brand new. I think these are actually new too this year. But so I had the Hawk Heliums. I used the set of 4, and I could get anywhere from 15 to almost 30 feet with these. Kind of just depends how much you space them out, and if you have an 8er, which I did not use, but you can probably get a little higher if you wanted to. I didn't really have a need for that, so these worked just fine. I'd say the only complaint that I would have with these is they are not really the lightest. Don't quote me on weight for the set, I don't remember. But I would say this is, I don't know, 2 pounds or so at least per stick, which doesn't seem like a lot until you're carrying around a whole set of sticks, camera gear, all your other stuff. And I would say these are really great if you're not moving around a whole lot. I mean, they are solid, super solid. They're not going anywhere. So this would probably be better for a more permanent setup, and this could be whether you're using a tree stand or saddle. They're great. So yeah, that's what I used all fall. Didn't really have any issues other than the weight. And Tethrd just came out with these 1 sticks, super lightweight. I mean, like, so light. They come in a set of 6, I believe, and I'm pretty sure they're around 1 pound for all of them. So height wise, with 6 sticks you can get easy 30 feet. And obviously if you want to have even less weight, you can only take maybe 3 or 4 out with you. You know, like whatever, you kind of just have to figure out your own system, but these are pretty sweet. I have not really used them more than like 1 time, and didn't have any complaints, but I'm really excited to try these this year because I really need stuff that is so light. So yeah, these are really light. Let's see. I guess I can just get in and kind of show you the saddle. These are saddle bags, which I pretty much put my tether, my ropes, back support, which this is the back support. And it's not necessary, but I would highly recommend getting a back support if you're gonna get a saddle, especially for like all day sits. This is a lifesaver. You can pretty much recline in it and chill out all day, and it's really comfortable. So literally just goes around you. And what I do is when you clip into your carabiner, I just clip this in as well, and you just tighten it or loosen it based on how you are in the saddle. And again, I will very detailed go into it in the next video, but kind of just hang. So clip in, pull yourself up. I might need to move the video, I'm not sure, but anyway. I guess you can see me kind of. So yeah, this is it. Everything is fully adjustable. I mean, you can center yourself. I might cut off, but like you can stand, you can kneel, you can loosen it and just like fully sit down if you want to, kind of chill out. Literally, it's like a swing. So I would say that's something like maybe to pay attention to, is you don't want to just be like having fun with it and swinging around, because you'll be moving a lot. But I like to kind of just keep my rope at like forehead height, and yeah, you shoot. And then if you have deer on your off side, you can just stand up, turn, shoot this way, you know, whatever you have to do. And Tethrd does make a larger platform, so if this smaller one is just maybe a little uncomfortable for you, you know, maybe you're not used to it or it just seems too small, they do have an XL platform. But basically the purpose of this is to be able to just lean, swing around a tree if you have to. I mean, like, you can literally lean on the sides of the platform and it's not going anywhere. So you can stand on the side, all that kind of stuff. And it's really nice for that. Whereas a tree stand, typically if you're pushing on the side, it might move a little bit. So you don't always want that. And I think that's probably the reason for the bigger platform, is because you just want to stand on it. You know. So kind of basically is like the same as this, except you're just going to be standing. You might sit to shoot, whatever. But yeah, the main difference really is size and weight, and saddle, you're facing the tree stand, you're facing away. So kind of what I was touching on with, you know, when you're leaning on different sides, kind of wrapping yourself around a tree if you want to. I'd say one really big difference between the two is with the saddle, you are constantly attached to the tree. Not that you wouldn't be if you had a safety harness on for this, but what I mean by that is there's always constant pressure. I mean, unless you're kind of just chilling and standing on your platform, you're always going to have that pressure where you are attached to the tree. And I would say the biggest purpose for that is kind of lets you move and get those different shots if a deer comes in on a weird way that you might not be able to get out of a tree stand. If you're trying to literally lean around a tree, you might not be able to do that with this because you don't have that like solid comfort, you know, like that security where you do with the saddle. Because typically you're not going to be hanging off of your harness you're just kind of going to be on your platform, and if, you know, the deer's behind you, you might be in that like really like feeling like you're falling kind of feeling. So that's one thing that I would say is probably really awesome about the saddle. So I know cost is typically a big factor in sometimes what you decide. I know it's a big deal. They're both usually expensive purchases. Tree stands, I mean, it really just depends what kind of brand you go with and what type. I mean, they can go anywhere from like $50 to several $100s. So I would say this is more cheap in the sense of individual price is usually a little bit lower. But typically when you buy tree stands, you don't just buy one, you're gonna buy several and hang them around your farm or whatever. If you are trying to just hunt public or be mobile, you can easily buy a cheap tree stand and it'll, for the most part be pretty good for you. You just have to take your other factors into consideration. With the saddle, these are anywhere from $300 to $400. It kind of just depends what different pieces you buy, how many ropes you get, how many sticks you get, all that kind of stuff. They have a starter pack, so you can always get kind of like a combo thing, which I think is around $370, but that's kind of a one-time purchase. The idea is to only buy one set or whatever and use it in multiple trees and take it with you. So really, if you're gonna buy several tree stands versus one saddle, the price typically kind of evens out. Just kind of depends if you're looking to just get one or several. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of another factor to consider. But either way, they're both big purchases, so I know that's really important. And if you're just starting out, maybe you want to start on the cheaper route, get comfortable, and work your way up. Probably the biggest con for me this year was, like for the saddle, there kind of just seemed to be a lot of ropes in the way, and I really didn't have an issue as far as like shooting, but it was just like you constantly have to be like, oh, I want to move, I gotta move this, I gotta do this. And so I mean, like, you're loosening this just to get up and down, and then you got these just kind of hanging there. So when you get a saddle, if you do, I would say take it out if you can. You know, find a tree in a yard somewhere, or even maybe a place you hunt, and, you know, practice if you can. Because it probably took me, I want to say 5 hunts to actually really get comfortable with it, and probably like 7 or 8 hunts until I was like, I got it down. Like, I got a system going and I'm feeling good about it and can kind of be fast with it. So definitely something, because it's just such a different thing. So probably practicing is like your best bet. If you can shoot in your yard and just practice on a target, highly recommend that. Where this, obviously, you have nothing in your way. You're just sitting on there, and you know, you have all this open space in front of you, so you don't have anything to like really worry about, like leverage wise, and you know, there's no ropes or anything. So as far as hanging them, tree stand is going to be a little more time consuming. I kind of pre-hung them for you, but you know, you're going to have this big bulky thing that you got to make sure it stays on the tree, and you're trying to tighten it and be safe at the same time, which you can be. But then it's the saddle, because it's so small, you literally just stick it on and it's not really in your way. Just tighten it, good to go. Pull it down. I would definitely say when you are attaching either to the tree, always have your platform folded up, because it will help you get it a lot tighter. Simply because you tighten it, and then this bottom part, the actual platform, is what really like seals it and locks it into the tree. So that's more or less just a safety thing, but that's literally for either of them. There's no real assembly that you have to do for the platform on the saddle. Sometimes you have to put tree stands together. I'm just gonna give you guys like a really quick, hang on, come on, okay. Just like kind of a close-up view of all of this. Kind of how it attaches to the tree. Really, this just kind of leans on it, and then like I said earlier, when you strap it tight, you want to have your platform facing up, that way you can lock it down into place. And you're really going to do the same thing with this as well. It's just a smaller version. What I like to do with either is make sure that your strap is pretty well even with wherever the attachment piece is. So this is where you're attached to. You want it to be fairly even. Now I'm gonna move it around one-handed. This is gonna be awkward. Okay, and then tighten, and then that's how, like, you can see it's still moving. But then what you're gonna do is just kind of lock it down into the tree. I might have made it a little too tight, but you get the idea. So I'm shaking it now, and it's not going anywhere. So same thing with both. But yeah, you can see the size difference. This is my hand. So but yeah, I mean, difference is you got a cushion with this, you're just gonna sit on it. Where this is, you're just standing on this and leaning on your saddle. So your saddle is your seat, basically. And yeah, I've sat in both of these all day. Sometimes they can be uncomfortable if you're sitting in the same position. So I used to just stand up when I was in this, and sometimes you have to stand up or adjust, but either one is totally fine for all day sits. One other thing I want to mention is the different types of trees. I know a lot of people sometimes struggle whether they have a hang-on or a climber. You can't always get in every tree that you want to, and I definitely ran into that quite a lot with tree stands. Was I really wanted to be in, say, this tree, but there might have been too many limbs in the way, or just didn't want to set right on the bark or whatever. So I'd have to pick a different tree, and then I just felt like I wasn't in the right spot, and kind of had to really try to work through that. But because the platform is so much smaller on the saddle, I would say you can probably get into a lot more trees. I definitely did that this year, and I got into honestly some really weird rookety trees kind of, but yeah, so they are super nice for that. You can kind of pick and choose where you want to be, and then you kind of feel like you're in a better spot, and kind of set yourself up for success in a sense. Obviously you can get into a lot of trees with this, but I would say just simply because of the platform size, you might be a little bit more limited. I think both are really great, and both have a great purpose. But personally for me, I really like the saddle just because of my mobility issues and wanting stuff that's like super lightweight. And so if that's what you're looking for, I highly recommend it. Either one is totally fine for someone who's new to hunting. It's kind of just like what you get used to. So if you're really used to a tree stand and you're really comfortable with it, I mean, by all means, stick with that. And you know, do what works best for you and what you're most comfortable with. But yeah, I really like both, and I do utilize both. Just kind of depends where I'm at and what I'm doing. So if you guys have more questions, like I said, I'm gonna do the more like in-depth how-to on a saddle in the next video, and really go over all the gear, all the new stuff that's coming out for Tethrd, and yeah, how to use it. So I know you guys are going to be anxious for that one too, and I'm excited to do that video. I hope this helped you, and yeah, good luck this fall. And I would recommend, if you're new to any of this, or if you're trying something different, get it now. Practice over the summer, that way come fall you'll be comfortable. So thanks for watching the video. Feel free to subscribe, and catch you in the next one.